What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Warehouse Series and welcome to Discord Friday. If you guys are brand new to the channel, please join that Discord. That link is in the description below. Great warehouse community. If you're brand new to selecting, you are missing out if you are not a part of that community. Guys, subscribe to the channel. If you're not a member of my channel, a subscriber of my channel, you're definitely missing out as well. And as doing that, hit that notification bell so you guys know when I post videos. Leave comments and give me a thumbs up if you guys like the content. And I also want to say, if you guys want to support my channel, you can do that by donating and actually shopping on my eBay store that I have had for over a year now. And I also want to say that I really appreciate the people over on Discord that have been just basically campaigning for me almost. Like, you guys are spreading the word of my channel, making sure that people know that this channel is here to help new selectors. And I really appreciate the people on Discord that are taking the time to reach out to others and share my content. So with that being said, we're going to go over a couple pallet reviews, and then I want to talk about some random stuff at the end of the video. We've been talking a lot about bare warehouses because we had Samuel. We did a video breakdown, and we talked about Samuel selecting in the warehouse. And this is someone different. So there's a few things. I want people in the bare warehouse, Samuel, or the person that posted this, leave in the comment section below. I would imagine, since you guys are throwing all weight, that these cubes on these pallets are not that high. Like, what's your max cube? So in warehouses, dry goods and that, you'll get 69 cube, possibly 74 cube, 64 cube. So you're going to have a 7-foot pallet, if not higher, if you were in perishable dry goods, etc., produce, whatever. Now, when it comes to the bare warehouse, I'm really curious what these max cubes are, because to me, they're probably going to be like a 50-55 cube, because I really never seen a really high pallet. And the reason why I'm saying that is because we select on smaller pallets, and you guys know my finger width thing. A finger's width hanging off the pallet. This is more than a finger's width, and this is a lot more than a finger's width. And one thing that I extremely do not like hanging off the pallet is liquid, and especially glass, because you're going to get a mess if this gets slammed on the truck and the loader's not paying attention, and they're going to break the contents of this. Now, I also don't like this because of the flex out. Now, you did move your third layer back in to try to counteract that flex out. You know, you see the rock coming out, because if you get out too much and you keep stacking weight on it, that is what's going to make your pallet fall over. Me personally, if this is a finished order, which is only about a 45 cube order, I really do not like the pallet or the cases hanging off. I would have turned these, left a little bit of gaps. It would not have been a big deal since we have such a small pallet. So, and I really want to say, just pay attention to that, because this is your pallet too. And this one here is about a 35-40 cube pallet. And we stayed on the pallet nicely. Look at that. That's about a finger's width hanging off over the side over there. So always keep that in mind, guys. Bare warehouse, it does not matter where you're at. I like the finger's width. These are smaller pallets, so you got to learn how to stack on smaller pallets, because look, all the stuff's coming off of regular size pallets and you're stacking on smaller. So when we talk about following the block that's on the pallet, you got to make your own block for these, because it's a small pallet. This pallet that you're selecting on is not the same size as the wood pallets, the white wood that's in the slots. So you have to adjust your pattern of how you want to select. But my goal would be to stay on that pallet, within the confines of the pallet, finger widths off, and I guarantee all these cubes are small, so you're going to be able to bust these out. Although you're throwing a lot of weight, you should be able to move very nicely through the warehouse. All right, this one here, I want to say a couple things. One, there's two things in produce that suck, that are the worst bag that you could ever get. The one is these onions, and the other one is corn. When they put corn in bags, they're like these. Okay, so a lot of new people, or even people on Discord, might look at this top section and be like, he just threw them up there. No, he definitely placed these. They're just that bad. They're really bad bags to stack on. So I want to go all the way to the base, though, because there's one thing is, like, if you know you have onions coming up later in your order, which to me, these onions should have came after the bags, and not these. Like, these are oranges, like melons. I don't understand how you're picking. You got grapes in here. So was this a scratch? All right, guys, if you're new to warehouse selecting, I come up on something, there's nothing there, no product there, I'm going to zero it out. And at the end of the order, some warehouses make you go back and pick up the scratches. Well, it's really going to suck if you have 15 bags of onions that you had to scratch, and you went and got this stuff, and then you went and got oranges out of the cooler, and melons and grapes, and then you got to come back and get your scratches. I don't like it. The other thing I want to talk about is it is what it is. But down here, when you have a back under, I've talked about this before, guys. A back unders, I need 25 potatoes. I pull up on a slot, and there's 30 potatoes in there. So instead of me throwing 25 individual bags, I'm only throwing 5 to take the extra 5 off, and maybe I'm throwing it on an empty pallet that I laid down, or I'm throwing it on another pallet that's already in the slot. But the problem is when you back under something, usually these people don't care whenever they're shipping out full product, full pallet products, and they don't care if they're leaning or whatever. So you can see right here, we did not utilize the full cube of this pallet, and I don't like this over here. Now the slip sheet's covering a lot, but it really seems like this pallet was rocking over. What do is I just at least try to make it as straight as possible. I don't care if I have to move the top layer just to maybe shift contents over so I'm not leaning to one side. And then, and I don't like how we're not utilizing the whole the bag here. That's just going to make for a smaller cube. So we might have had more room up here, but it's hard to tell because of everything's all over the place. I like how you call them stacked or open boxes. Guys, do not spread these melons if that's what they are. Usually they're the small watermelons. Do not spread these boxes around. Keep your open boxes, call them stacked just like this person did it. All in all, this is not a bad pallet. For what he had to do, leave in the comment section below if that was a scratch. I'm really curious about this. Now, here's another produce pallet. Guys, this is when it's really important to stick to the block. So these, I don't know what these are, if they're grapes or whatever, but they're pretty long. And then we got these. You know, I would have turned all these facing in to eliminate this because they said in the Discord that you could see right through my palette. So I just threw some onions in there. Guys, so this is my thing. You take this column right here and you turn it. It's going to start rocking into this gap because it's a lot of heavy weight. Okay, so if I came up and I needed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grapes, if that's what these are, I don't know what they are. They look like they could be grapes. But if I need 5 grapes and I have these 2 boxes here, the limes, and I got this, guys, I'm literally picking up this bottom box by the handles and I'm putting it on the ground. I'm going to take these 5 boxes and put it right on top of my apple cider facing in. End of story, end of problem. That is why I say it is so important to move cases on your base, because you're just creating a problem for the rest of the order where you're finessing your jack. You're worried about gaps in the middle. You have holes everywhere. Just take these 2 cases, get them the hell out of there, drop all this down facing in. Your problem is solved. Don't be afraid to move a couple cases to make your pallet that much better, especially low on the pallet at your base. All right, guys, there's a few things I want to talk about. So I was private messaging with someone. Guys, you're more than welcome to, if you're on my Discord, don't be afraid to send me a private message, to friend me on Discord, and I will talk to you. So I was speaking back and forth with people. New people coming to the channel, they saw that, I've been at the warehouse for 26 years and I quit and I started doing my own thing. And so people are just curious. I guess people that are just coming into the warehouse, they're really liking it. And they just want to pick my brain and find out why I left after 26 years. Well, one is you're unappreciated. All right. You are very, very unappreciated at a warehouse. And I don't know how many times either this exact phrase or a phrase similar to it, where if you complain about something, it was, if you don't like it, there's the door. All right. You are not a blink and a bat in an eye of a supervisor. I don't care how highly you think of yourself as an employee in the warehouse, your supervisors probably don't care about you. They don't care if you're going to be gone. Guys, I left 26 years, and I guarantee at March 15th of this year, I left. I guarantee there's no one in that warehouse that misses me. That place is going to function just fine without me. And that is because we talked about this before on one of my, I had Sticky Oxtail. I interviewed and he brought this up. Do you think we're skilled labor? And I made a little face and he says, can we agree that we're just somewhat skilled laborers? I'm going to go back on that. So Sticky Oxtail, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, but we are not skilled laborers. We are, when you're in the warehouse, anything after 26 years, any new employee within weeks can learn my job. To me, that's not skilled labor. All right. That is not a skilled labor. They literally could pull any person off the street and teach them how to select boxes. All right. Now, the stacking part might take some time to learn, but I still don't consider that a skilled labor. When your boss could care less if you walk out the door because they know that you could be replaced with any person off the street, that is a place that you're going to be unappreciated. And that's a place where it just gets annoying after a while. And we have lots of lazy people at the warehouse. And I've been saying this for many years, and and it's true. It's definitely true in the warehouse I worked at, is good workers get rewarded with more work. If you're a slacker, they tend to leave you alone because they know if they start disciplining you, you're just going to slack off even more, and they're going to get less work out of you. But the good workers, they like to push them as much as they possibly can. So here's just a few examples to that person I was talking to, why, I don't miss it, and I just want to get on to the next thing is, like, this is the stuff that I do now. All right. I do eBay. I do YouTube. I do lawn care, which I'm in the Pittsburgh area, my struggling Penguins that I watch and that I still try to watch. And obviously I'm done cutting grass, so I needed a job for the winter. I told you guys before that I worked for me, myself, and I, when I posted a video life after 26 years in the warehouse. But unfortunately, that's the thing, is like when you're capable of doing things, guys, as long as you're not a lazy person and you're capable of doing things, you're going to find work to do. You're going to find stuff that's going to keep you busy. And I have a friend that owns RW Home. It's a home remodeling. We basically do anything you possibly can. We'll build additions, anything. And I started working with this as just a laborer, I don't really know much, I've been in this for about 6 weeks now, and I cannot tell you how thoroughly I enjoy this job. All right. Thoroughly enjoy this job. You walk away with accomplishments, or you walk away with a sense of pride because you actually have a physical thing there, whether it's a deck that we're building or whatever. I just spent a week at this project, and this has a result of me working here. Well, that gives you, as a human being, that just gives me a sense of pride. When I left the warehouse, there was nothing that gave me satisfaction that I just completed a good day's work. It sucks. I hate it. And this is just my personal opinion, guys. I hated it. I dislike it. There was nothing satisfying about walking out of that place. I felt like an idiot every time I walked out of that place. When I leave this place, I feel accomplished. I'm learning stuff that I could, do on my own house. So it's actually a skill that I am learning and I'm doing really good with, and I'm catching on really quick with. So this was supposed to be a fall winter thing with me. Well, I like it so much, I want to stay. So what I'm going to do come springtime is I'm going to stay part-time on with RW Home. I've already talked to them. I'm going to stay part-time, and I'm still going to cut my lawns. So I'm probably going to work here like 2-3 days a week, and the other days I'm going to be busy with my lawn, YouTube, and eBay. But guys, I just want to finish with this. Don't be afraid to take chances, and don't listen to other people. All right. So when I walked out of this warehouse, of course I was scared, but I made sure that my finances and everything was in a row before I left there. I made sure that my kids weren't going to college or whatever they were doing. I've already talked about this on past videos. And the biggest thing, guys, is that you know yourself the best. You know what you're capable of doing. And if you are a great worker with a great mentality, and you have a good, just everything, you are going to prosper in life when you leave the warehouse. So don't, or any job for that matter. It doesn't matter if it's just a warehouse. So don't ever feel like you're stuck at a place, especially if you have good work ethic. And don't listen to others. There are so many negative people out there, naysayers, because they want change in their lives, but they're afraid to do it, or they're just too lazy to do it, and they're scared, or they're in a bad way. I had people at my warehouse saying that you're making the biggest mistake of your life before I left there. And I could tell you right now, it is 8 months later or whatever months later, I have never been more happy than I have been in the last 8 months, in the last 26 years that I was at that warehouse. I am very happy. And I know that I am going to be just fine. I'm actually a lot better off everywhere around. I'm just at peace. I'm happy. And I will never step foot in a warehouse again. All right, guys, thank you for joining. A little rant at the end there, just want to be calm about it. But like I said, when I talk to people on private messaging over on Discord, things come up and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to talk a little bit about this because it might be something that other people might be interested in as well. I'll see you guys in a few weeks. Have a great weekend.